Now, let's jump into those keys that we kind of talked about. There's 4 basic bits of information that you need to know up front to know how to ship a lithium battery. If you don't know all 4 of these bits of info, you're not going to know how to properly prepare it. And if you kind of change one of these 4 keys that we're going to talk about, it changes your requirements. That's actually why lithium batteries are kind of confusing to people, because it'd be nice if there was just one set of rules that applied to every single type of lithium battery type of shipment, but it really depends on kind of what the battery is, how you're shipping it. You change one of these little keys here, and now we have slightly different markings we have to use, or maybe different kind of packaging, and so on and so forth. And it all starts with key number 1, and that is to ask yourself what type of lithium battery you are shipping. There are 2 types of lithium batteries. You either have a lithium metal or a lithium-ion battery. Now, I would say it's not terribly difficult to kind of figure out whether it's lithium metal or lithium ion. I'll show you how to do that in a second, but it is very important because based on how you answer that question, whether it's lithium ion or lithium metal, you would end up using a different proper shipping name as well as a different identification number. That type of information is going to go on things like your shipping documentation, so it would affect how you create your shipping papers. It's going to affect your package markings because typically the ID number goes on the outside of the package. It's going to affect how big the package can get up to, how to exactly properly package it. So it's kind of a really jumping off point. You have to know, is it lithium ion or is it lithium metal? Now, like I said, it's usually pretty easy to kind of figure out if you have one or the other. So let's start with the lithium metal type batteries. With lithium metal type batteries, you can actually tell from the name if it's lithium metal because it contains in it actually some lithium metal. So no surprises here. So the anode of the battery contains actual lithium metal or lithium metal alloys. You got yourself a lithium metal battery. Now, most of the time we can't see inside the battery, right? I don't have X-ray vision, so I can't. How do I know if there's lithium inside there? Usually, kind of the easiest way to know it's lithium metal is you'll notice you can't recharge them. So if it's a non-rechargeable type battery, that is the dead giveaway. That is a lithium metal type battery. Some terms you might run into sometimes when you hear the word lithium metal. Sometimes you hear the term primary cells. I will say that's not becoming such a common term. That's actually the term they used to use in the regulations. They used to call lithium metal batteries, they used to call them primary lithium batteries. They don't really use that term so much anymore. Most people just call them lithium metal, but if someone's talking to you, hey, if you want to tell me about those primary cells, they're talking about the lithium metal type. And lithium metal batteries, these are typically used to kind of power smaller electronic devices. So think of things like calculators, watches, circuit boards. They will often have lithium metal type batteries. So we actually have a good example on the screen right now. If you take a look at that watch, it's got like a little tiny button cell in there. That is a lithium metal type battery. It's non-rechargeable, right? You can't recharge a button cell. It contains actual lithium metal. Another good example would be like a AA battery. If it's made of lithium and you can't recharge it, well, then you know it's lithium metal. So as you can see, very easy to figure that out. As per the lithium-ion batteries, how do I know if it's lithium-ion? Well, again, you can tell from the name what it is. It's a battery that contains lithium ions, not actual lithium metal. So there is no lithium metal inside of a lithium-ion battery. It contains ions. But again, the easiest way to know it's lithium-ion is you can recharge it. So if it's a rechargeable type battery, then we know it's lithium-ion. And a lot of times you can just look straight at the battery itself and tell, like for instance, if you look on the screen, it literally says right on the outside of it, lithium-ion, 18 volts, right? So not, again, terribly difficult to figure out if you have a lithium-ion battery. A term that you'll sometimes hear used for lithium-ion batteries is sometimes they will call it a secondary cell or a secondary battery. Again, not so common anymore. That's the term that they used to use in the regulations. They've kind of moved on from that. Now we just call them lithium-ion. But if someone ever says, I'm talking about secondary lithium batteries, they're talking about lithium-ion type. But the way that lithium-ion batteries work is we have lithium ions that are kind of floating around in the electrolyte, and they move between the positive and negative electrodes, and that's what allows us to kind of recharge those batteries. They're meant to be used over and over again. Very, very common for our, daily devices that we use. So this would include things like laptops, cell phone batteries, power tools, maybe an electric vehicle that you just purchased that have a lithium-ion type battery, and so on and so forth. So that is the first key that you need to know when it comes to shipping lithium batteries.
If you're new to shipping lithium batteries, there are 4 key fundamentals that you need command of to do it right. Grab the ultimate guide to those 4 keys from lion.com/4keys, then watch our full video on YouTube to find out what lithium battery shippers need to know for 2024.